Are you building a supply of ammunition? Are you wondering what the best way is to store that ammo? Well, I'm going to address this issue with some storage suggestions, so stick around right here on Florida Firearms. Hi, my name is Steve and welcome to this video on ammo storage. Several years ago I created a video on ammo storage, but since then I've changed my opinion on how ammo should be stored, properly stored anyway. So let's start with these 4 important points. But before we get into that, at the end of this video I'll be showing you an example of how ammo looks like after it's been stored improperly for several years, many years. So stick around towards the end of the video and I'll show you this ammunition. The 4 points here I want to talk about are: 1, keeping the ammo out of the reach of others. Now that goes without saying. You want to keep it away from others so they can't get a hold of it. Also, if at all possible, store your ammunition away from your firearms. Put them in 2 different locations. It's not always possible. I can't do it. I've got both my firearms and my ammo stored in one location, but it's all locked up, climate controlled. Now, the second thing is you've got to keep your ammo cool, dry, and with low humidity. That's just to keep the moisture out of the boxes, which the boxes we'll get into can absorb the moisture. But mainly, make sure your climate is controlled with low heat, cool, and definitely low humidity. Another thing to consider is the unstable temperature cycle. So if you store your ammunition in an area that's constantly hot, cold, high humidity, low humidity, this is going to have an effect on the ammo in the long run as well. So you want to avoid that as well. Now the next thing you want to worry about is fire protection. Now, it's a misconception because of Hollywood that ammo, when it's ignited, will explode. And to an extent this is true, but the explosion of ammunition is not the same as a controlled detonation as when the firearm or the ammunition that is actually being, a primer's being struck and the bullet is, the powder's burned and the bullet is coming out of the barrel at a high velocity. Now it's true projectiles will come out of the casings in a fire, but they have very low energy. They will hurt you if you get close to them, but they're not like they're actually being fired out of a firearm itself. And the ammunition will not explode. It will kind of sound like loud, popping, large firecrackers. But again, you got to keep it away from fire if all possible. Okay, let's get into the storage of this ammunition. Now we have 2 types of storage here we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about long-term storage versus short-term storage. Now, you know, the long-term storage obviously is stuff that you want to keep for years, months, years, whatever, decades, and you want to protect that to make sure it's going to be in prime condition, you know, if you need to use it. Short-term storage obviously is for ammo that's going to be used or rotated out, such as the ammo you take to the ranges to fire and to practice with. Now, you know, this could be stored on the shelf or something like that, which is what I do as well. Now, another thing that is considered is whether you should store your ammo in the original packaging, the boxes, or loose in an ammo can, as seen here. Now, there's been an argument regarding the storage of ammo in its original packaging. The major concern was that the cardboard box can and will absorb moisture over time, and this moisture can affect the ammo. Though this is true, again, if the ammo is kept in a climate-controlled environment, this shouldn't really be an issue at all. If the packaging does get wet, of course, remove the ammo, store it in some other form, like in a Ziploc bag or a container, whatever, but do retain the packaging that came with that ammo, the box itself. Let it dry out nice and good, and put that with the ammo, so that way you know where you have your ammo stored, exactly what manufacturer, grain, and stuff like that. You know, all the important information with that ammo can be stored with the ammo itself. That way you don't have a whole package of ammo, you don't know what it is. Now, think about it this way too. Ammo in boxes is stored in warehouses. They're stored in shooting ranges and gun ranges and anywhere you can buy ammo. And they don't seem to have an issue with that at all. Because these storage areas it's climate controlled. It's climate controlled and the humidity is low, so it's relatively safe to actually keep the ammo in the boxes themselves. especially if you're going to rotate it out on a regular basis, which is what's happening to the ammo in these, gun ranges and warehouses and everything. It's being rotated out on a regular basis. So if it's safe for them to do it, it'll be safe for you as well. Another thing you want to do, though, is keep your ammo off the floor. Don't store your ammo directly, if in boxes, that is, directly on the floor. Concrete, carpet, whatever, don't do it. It's not a good idea because concrete, though solid, is porous as well, and moisture will seep through the concrete itself. If it seeps through the concrete, and if you got carpet on the concrete, unless you've got some sort of weatherproofing backing or something like on the carpet, or on the concrete, like plastic, the carpet will get wet. But I wouldn't rely on the backing itself. And if the concrete gets wet and gets moist, the carpet's going to get wet and moist, and that moisture is going to get into the boxes themselves. So main thing is, do not store your ammunition directly on the floor itself. Now let's talk about the rotation of short-term storage stock. If you're going to have ammo that you're going to take to the range again, that can be stored on a shelf or whatever the case in the box. What I do is I put a date on there. It doesn't have to be the exact date I've got it, but the month and the year. And that way I know I can use the oldest and rotate out the oldest and put in the newest and just kind of rotate it based on age. It's going to be rotated out. It's not going to hurt at all. And like I said, you can store it on the shelf in that case, or if you want, you can store it in an ammo can. Now, there are really two types of cans you can do. You can do the traditional ammo can, which you see here, or you can use plastic containers like some sort of Tupperware or plastic watertight container. Either one will work fine. Now, what I would do is, even though I use ammo cans themselves, you can go ahead and do the ammo in the can, loose or in the boxes. I prefer to go ahead and put them in the boxes into the container itself. Now, regardless of storing your ammo in a ammo can or a plastic container, I would definitely toss in a few desiccant packets into the container themselves. This way, if there's any moisture in there, the desiccant packets will absorb all the moisture and keep your boxes and ammo that much drier. Now, there's been some talk also about storing your loaded magazines or clips. Here I've got a magazine. It's got my 5.56 in it. This is a Magpul magazine. And I've got a clip. This is with my 30-06. This is for my, of all things, my M1 Garand. Now, can you store these loaded? Yeah, sure, no problem. Will it hurt not in this case the clip necessarily, because there's no spring in this clip, but for the magazine, will it hurt the spring in the magazine? No, not at all, not at all. But that's a topic for a whole new video. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole at this point, but you can store these loaded, not a problem at all. And just put them in a can or a plastic container again with a few desiccant packets, and you're good to go. Okay, now here's the ammunition I was going to show you that has been stored for many, many years unprotected. It was never in a sealed container, never in climate controlled areas, so it's had a variety of ups and downs, humidity, temperature wise, whatever. It's gone through the ringer. Now, as you can see, it's got a date time stamp on it. I think you can see it, of November 26, 1914. So this is, oh God, yeah, we're looking at 110 years old, something like that, since it's 2024. So 1940, over 100 years old, and this is what the ammo looks like actually. And it doesn't look in that bad a condition, but I wouldn't want to fire it. And if you're wondering where this came from, it was old Army, I'm sorry, Army issue ammo, and it went into this firearm. Now the firearm I'm showing here is a Smith & Wesson model 1917 45 revolver. This was my grandfather's service revolver from World War I. Still shoots perfectly fine. It's got fixed sights, a little rust here and there, but I'm maintaining it. I take it to the range once in a while, but it's obviously empty. But the thing fires perfectly fine using moon clips to shoot 45 auto. So that's where that ammo came from, was supposedly used for. Never got used. It's over 100 years old, and it would probably still fire. It would probably still fire. I'm not sure what the velocity would be, but I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to fire it. I'm going to just keep it as a memento for long, long time, years gone by. Opinions on ammo storage vary greatly from person to person. Everybody's got their own opinion, and this was my option of how I was going to store my ammo. Now, it may not be the right way for everyone, but it's an option that may help you decide on how you would like to store your own ammo supply. It is an investment, and you want to protect your investment. Now, I hope I've given you some ideas that may help you be useful to you in protecting your supply of ammo, be it long-term storage or short-term storage. Again, this is Steve, and thanks for watching the Florida Firearms channel. Until next time, be safe, be responsible.